dignitaries who are present here. Namaskaram to all of you. In fact, it's a privilege for all of us to attend this function. Perhaps, even though we have been staying in Kerala since long, we were born and brought up. Perhaps we have not gone into this aspect of the temple prasadams, and perhaps had it not been for this effort that has been undertaken by the Indian Research Institute, we would also not have gone in depth to the nutritional value of the prasadams and of the temples. In fact, when a few months ago, when Atul Jain ji mentioned to me about the release of the coffee table book, and that Honorable Governor has agreed to host this function, I was also not very clear what should be the outcome of this whole effort. I was analyzing this during the last few weeks and months. I felt that ultimately these examples of the temples or the practices, cultural traditions, it shows a depiction. It is a depiction of the life of those times and how these were maintained, how these existed. Perhaps India in the recent times, in the modern times, which has been portrayed by the historians, especially historians who came from outside. When I say historian, Professor Shashibhushan also is a historian. But there were historians who didn't know the ethos, the heritage of India, who came from abroad, and with some motives or intentions they tried to portray something. Some people didn't understand the real meaning of what existed in our country, and they felt from what they saw that India is like this. So they used to say that India is a country of people who are poor, poverty-stricken, a country of snake charmers, a country where poor were begging for alms and for food. But if you look back into the history and the heritage of our country, one can definitely say that these things which were explained here, it depicts a very glorious past. And the reason for that is that India didn't exist because of the governance that India had. India existed because of the tradition that we had and the people of India. And ultimately in India, till the British came, many of the things, many of the matters in our society depended upon the society. Ultimately, it was the residual powers rested with the society. What changed after the British came is the residual powers now rest with the government. Unless whatever is specified is authorized for somebody, whatever is left unsaid, the government has the authority. In fact, it was the other way around in India. The governance, for the government, for the authorities, these are the things that the government is expected to do. This was specified. And what was unsaid, it was with the society. So, India's tradition in food, in education, we have the famous writings of Dharampal ji, which mentions about the situation of education, especially in the then Madras province. the then Madras province, which had centers of learning for medicine, astrology, various other aspects of which is required in the, which is considered a modern day stream of science, were existing in India even before the British came, has been brought out by Dharampal. And now I feel that this effort of the Indian Research Institute will definitely open up opportunities, will initiate efforts in studying the Kerala's traditions and how Kerala was, because of course I would say that I won't say that everyone was well off, everyone had ample to eat, but there was a system in the society where the needy was taken care of by the well-to-do. That is why in Malayalam there is a saying, in Kerala we say, that in olden days in well-off houses, people before they closed their front door of the house, they used to say that, is there anybody who has not had any food? They used to call out. We say, Atara Pattanikarundo. So, nobody should go to bed without having food. This was the culture of the society. And it happened because of the society, not because of governance. Now what is happening is that people feel that everything has to be taken care of by the government. So of course the government, when that sense is there among the society, when that expectation is there in the society, the governments have to take care of it. That is why Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana was introduced by the Prime Minister, because when COVID was there and there was no food, there was no employment, people didn't have something to eat. So, and people feel that, even I am not mixing politics, but still, people feel that the government in Kerala was repeated because of COVID. Because during the COVID period, the food that was provided by the government of India was packed in and with the portrait of with the picture of the state chief minister, and was served to the people. So people felt that they are giving food. So I'm not going to that. What I mean to say is, now people expect the government to do everything. But the practice of the society taking care of the needs, protecting the society, taking care of the society, this becomes a tradition. This becomes the culture. And when that culture spreads in the society, when that culture is there, it becomes tradition. That is why in the olden days, temples were not only, especially the Hindu temples were not only places of worship. For various other religions, their places of worship is some place where people will come together and worship. Temples were never not limited as places of worship. It was places of worship, but it was beyond that. Temples were centers where the tradition of the society, where there were dialogues on intellectual matters. People used to conduct days-long dialogues. These were centers of art and literature, and these were also centers which provided support to the surrounding areas. So that's why the prasadam, it depicts the culture of a society, it depicts the tradition of a society. And I would like to say that Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, when he implements a program, he makes it a point that it is not a government program, it should become an effort of the society. So that's why when Swachh Bharat he initiated, he wanted this to be a people's movement. Because when it becomes a people's movement, naturally, that people's movement, when somebody feels, when the society feels that this is my effort, this is not a governmental effort. then I feel committed to that. Then I become part of that mechanism. Then it becomes my behavior pattern. Then it becomes my tradition. It is known as culture. For example, cleanliness, hygienic practices. It should not be something that is introduced by the government, something that is implemented by the governmental agencies. It should become a culture of the society. We say that in Japan, if you see something lying on the road, people will pick it up and put it in the dustbin. I have the same experience in Indore. Indore is the cleanest city in the whole country, not because of the corporation only because of the corporation. Corporation initiated, but then it was taken over by the people. So if somebody who is not an Indorian, he goes to Indore, he has a chocolate and he leaves that paper on the road or just drops it there, somebody who is nearby, even a child would pick it up and put it in the dustbin. Because that tradition, that culture has developed. So ultimately, these traditions, the coffee table book that will be brought in by the India Research Institute, I am sure that this will develop in creating a culture and a tradition which ultimately will help the people. And Kerala's prasadams, we say Navadhanyas are there. All the Navadhanyas, these Navadhanyas are used for all the rituals, homas, the Ganapati Homa or various other rituals that are there. So all these Navadhanyas, and they are kept in the temples, and there it germinated. So these are all in a way repositories of our tradition. So that is the peculiarity. And then the eating habits. We used to sit on the floor eating in the banana leaf, which provides, which has got medicinal values also. And many of the prasadams that were mentioned here, it has all got nutritional and medicinal value. There is a famous temple in Trivandrum, Professor Shashibhushan perhaps missed that is Attikal. Attikal is a temple where, because in north of India, you have come across the Shabarimala, when the issue of women are barred in Shabarimala, that became a big issue. And you will be surprised to know that Attikal, it is meant only for women. I won't say men are barred, but men don't like to go there, because don't like to go means men are in a way, it is a dissuading men, because it is a women's festival. Women comes in lakhs of numbers, and on that festival day, generally that whole area is taken over by women, the entire area. And you will be surprised to know that you don't need a permission to go to anybody's house and in his courtyard do the homa. Because every house feels that anybody can come and use this my place as your place. They come and sleep on the previous day. People who don't know each other at all. And then they develop friendship. And after that many people invite them. Next time when you come to my place. So people who have not met each other. There is a prasadam called Teraliyappam. And that Teraliyappam, there is also the good is there, the elaka, there is this Kadapadam. Kadapadam is there. Kadamam is there. The banana is there. This terali is a particular leaf which has considered to have medicinal values. And again, Kerala's food, Kerala, the sadhya that you will be having, those who have come from outside Kerala, you will experience all the tastes, rasas. Not only sweet, sour, sweet, which is tikha, all these things will be there. So all the navarasas will be there. So these type of this tradition, I am sure that the society, when it takes up such traditions, it will continue in the society. It will take care of the others. Those who are needy will be taken care of by the affordable. This mechanism was there. There was no rule that this is your duty or this is your right. Rights and duties, there was a sort of a mutual blending and balancing. I am sure that this coffee table will definitely pave way for deeper analysis and study on such traditions. And if you go to northern Kerala, it's not a traditionally the temple in the Sattvic tradition. It is called Parashini Kadavu. There it is the boiled green gram and coconut peel that is given as prasad. So that is why all these are in a way nutritional value, but at the same time it has connection with the local food habits and cuisine. So after Sri Atul Jain mentioned, I started analyzing many of the temples and the prasadams there, and I feel that if somebody is there who will come forward and start studies on this and research on this, definitely it will be a treasure that will be brought about and which will help and which will motivate the community to accept those and make it as a tradition and part of the culture. With these words, I would like to congratulate Dindayal Research Institute for the seminal effort that has been undertaken, and for the Honorable Governor for agreeing to host this program, so that all of us got an opportunity to go into the depth of all these aspects. Thank you.